Scream is a horror slasher film released in 1996 and was directed by legendary horror director Wes Craven. It was originally going to be titled Scary Movie, until it was changed to Scream. Anyway, this movie is great. Let's start the review. The plot of Scream revolves around a small town who is in fear after a masked figure brutally murders a young teenage girl. Now, since the killer is masked, people are on edge of those around them because one of them might be the killer. So, this isn't really that new of a plot, but what makes it work here is the satire and the execution. You see, the cliched rules of slasher films, for example, sex equals death, investigating strange noises, etc., they apply here, but not only that, but the film is self-aware of it as well. There are scenes where characters will be telling others not to do anything stupid, only to do something stupid in the future and themselves and get killed in the most ironic way possible. And that's not a negative in this film either, since it's giving nods to those films, and the premise is what makes it work, since it could really only work in one like that. And when the mood shifts to serious, it still feels smooth, since not how cliche teens would look in a more subtle setting, but how a subtle setting would look with cliche teens, which makes it easy to invest yourself into. I give plot an A+. Next is acting. And it was pretty good. The acting from Drew Barrymore was realistic enough to make me fear for her life, and keep in mind this at the beginning, so it's not really a spoiler. When her parents come home and find her body, it's actually really heartbreaking to watch. And, although it might be obvious who the killer might be, it still is very ambiguous since this is a self-aware parody. It's not possible to tell whether a character is serious or if they are doing a parody themselves. I give acting an A. Next category is comedy. Yes, I think this film is a horror comedy as well. I mean, it's a satire, so there's bound to be some good comedy in it. There is one scene where a kid runs down a school hallway, screaming and wearing the mask. Although it still feels in very poor taste, it's still hard not to laugh because, let's be honest, this is a way that some teens would take something like this in real life. So it feels somewhat close because of that. And the killer is threatening, but a lot of fun as well. You can tell the actor playing him is having a lot of fun. Also, that's what makes it work very well. Also, this film has a lot of amazing one-liners, which also help with the badass scenes. I give comedy an A-. Finally, directing. When Wes Craven made this film, he didn't make it seem obvious like he didn't know what he was doing. Despite the premise, the direction in this film feels very smooth. When the mood wants to change, it doesn't feel sudden, but rather natural. And it feels like it belongs in this film. Wes loved horror films with a passion, and this film is a love letter to the genre itself, because of all the heart Wes put into it. Wes knew when to be funny, satirical, and straightforward in this film. Also, the character development for Sydney was so good that I was legit rooting for her the entire time. And when shit started going down, I became more and more invested in her and wanted to see her get out of this not only alive, but also empowered. I give directing an A+. Overall, Scream is a special gift for anyone who is a fan of the horror genre. It shows not only a scary side, but how much fun it is to be scared. I loved everything about this film. It's just as good as films such as Get Out, and if there ever is a Scream remake, I feel like it should at least be directed by Jordan Peele. So, if you're looking for a well-directed and acted horror satire comedy with a kick-ass female lead, this film is for you. I give Scream an A+. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and stuff for more content.